Right, so behind me here I've got an Audi A6 40 TDI. I bought this car 6 weeks ago, man, and basically the day I bought it, it broke down, and I'll talk about that shortly. So that's one thing we're going to talk about in this video, the situation with it breaking down. Secondly, we're going to do the usual stuff, walk around it, talk about Audi A6s, go for a drive and do draggy times, and then third and finally, this 40 badge on the back of the car. What does it actually mean? So here it is in 2019 Audi A6 S-Line in grey with black interior. This is the 5th generation. Let me just make sure my exposure's up correctly. There we go. This is the 5th generation Audi A6. So there's the first one, there's the second one, there's the third one, there's the fourth one, and then voila, here we have the 5th one. Obviously being an S-Line, it's a slightly better spec than the usual SE, which we all know about, and an A6 is a pretty cool car, let's face it. It's got some decent rose presence. Obviously the preference in a car for me personally would be the C8 Audi RS6, which I've not yet had my hands on. They're a lot of money, but yeah, it's nice to get my hands on this. I've actually been driving this for the last couple of days since it came out of Audi after a repair that it had since I bought it. All right, so we'll talk about that shortly. Let's just talk about the visuals of the car before we talk about the repair and also the 40 badge on the rear there. So at the back we've got this nice sort of silver strip. I think if this was my car I'd probably black that out. It's a diesel engine, by the way. I suppose you know that because it's got TDI written there. What size is a diesel engine though? What size is the engine under the bonnet of this car? What do you reckon? Going by that 40. Yeah, we'll move on to continue on with the looks, and then we'll talk about that after. So that would definitely fail the car wow stick test.
Yeah, it's lies. It's all lies.
Yeah, you'd never poke stick through there. I'm guessing the exhaust is somewhere under there, but that's all right because you know that's what cars are like nowadays. On the inside, it's actually a really nice place to be. Look at the interior of this car. I love that steering wheel. S-Line badge at the bottom there, which is quite nice. And there's a few other little S-Line touches, usual stuff. S-Line in the back of the seats there, and is that it? There we go. Little on the door trim there when the camera decides to wake up. Oh, the boys ain't put the floor mat back in, have they? I just shampooed the floor mat, by the way, because I wanted it looking pretty presentable for the video, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, the seats, let's quickly talk about them. It's got a mixture of Alcantara and leather, pretty good. Higher quality leather than Mercedes. I really want to point that out because I bought a Mercedes the other day. Is it here? That one there, that's literally just arrived. The driver's seat on that is in an awful state, and that's because the leather in Mercedes is terrible. Yeah, check this out. Look, it's really bad quality. It's almost like it's vinyl. There's a rip in the seat there, bit of wear on the seat there, and a big hole in the seat there, and it's only done 70,000 miles. It's quite bad, isn't it? Well, I think you can pay more and get higher quality, but credit to Audi for giving you some nice high quality leather. All right, so yeah, the bonnet, let's get under there. By the way, the dash and all that, look at that. I like that. Audi do a great job, don't they, of making things look good. Yeah, they are very good. They should be cosmetic surgeons, shouldn't they, Audi? They'd make the whole world look wonderful. So under the bonnet, not a very big engine, is it? You're probably looking at that now like, Cal, this is a 40 TDI, so it must be a 4 litre surely. That engine is a 2 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel engine, yeah? Nothing too exciting. It's 200 brake horsepower, all right? You know, it ain't bad, don't get me wrong, it ain't terrible. The car weighs about 1,700 kilos. It actually pulls all right. It ain't super slow. We will obviously do draggy times on it shortly to see how quickly it does 20 to 70 mile an hour. Should we open the back door? Because that's a pretty big back door, isn't it? Look at the size of that back door. Let's look at the leg room. Big car, man. This is a big car. Plenty of leg room in the back because it matters. You know, if you're buying an Audi A6, you want to know how much leg room's in the back. And you probably want to know how big the boot is, but it's got loads of my junk in there, but I will show you a shot of it. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, it was my birthday last week and Mrs. bought me, what did she buy me? What did she actually buy me? Oh yeah, she bought me a Gucci carry bag, which was very nice of her. Like, bloody fair play to her, man. That's an amazing present, but that's the empty box there. We're not here to talk about that. I'm not really into my brand. I'm all about Reebok, man. Look, Reebok is the brand. If you want to rock some trainers, Reebok. These ones are covered in binker dust. That is the reality of binker dust in my life. Yeah, that's what they used to look like, and now that's what they currently look like. But I did need a travel bag, so love to my missus for getting me that. So yeah, that's my gym bag, blah blah blah. But that's the boot. for you. All right. Originally supplied by Essex Audi. Yeah, there you go, Chingford Audi. Pretty cool. And anything else worth talking about whilst we're on the walk around? I don't think there is. What we'll do is we'll throw a camera up in the window. We still need to talk about the issue that I've had with it, and secondly, talk about the 40 badge on the back of the car. It's just covered in binker dust now because my feet are covered in binker dust, but it looks better. So yeah, the badge on the back. Let's quickly talk about the badge on the back of this car. Before we do that, let's just start the engine and get the aircon on because it is warm. It's very, very warm. Hold on, before we start the engine, I want to do a quick hashtag key check because I've not yet done that. Have I? Look, there we go. Look, nice key. Well, it's just focusing on me, innit? Get my head out of the way. Big fat head. There you go. Proper neat little key, lightweight, small, handy, stick it in your pocket. It is keyless go as well. But before we start the engine, I want to play a little bit of the Michael Jackson Earth song to give you an idea what this car is about to sound like, all right? Listen. So that little tone there, let's play it again. Now let's start the engine on the A6 and listen to the sound that the MMI makes when we start the engine. Like every time I start this car, because I took it home last night and I've spent a little bit of time with it, but every time I get back into it and start the engine, I feel like I've got the Earth song playing on my phone and it's coming through the speakers, but it isn't that. It's just like the start-up tone that the MMI system makes when you get in the car and start it up, which is pretty good, you know. It's just different. It does, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's irritating. It just feels like it's maybe not in theme, but anyway, yeah, lovely interior, very, very nice interior. Like, it's proper nice virtual cockpit. It's all touchscreen and very fancy. So you've got two screens. You've got one for the stereo and all that wonderful stuff and the sat nav, and then below that you've got the heating controls. That we'll talk about the downfall of all that shortly, all right? But before we do that, let's quickly get onto the subject of the badging of the new Audis, yeah, because it is a little bit confusing. Like, they've thrown a spanner in the works a little bit there, and they like it's all, you know, we need to learn about this stuff. We need to know what the crack is. Why have they done it? What's it all about? Basically, so if we pull up this little blog that I found earlier, this summarizes it quite simply. There it is. Scroll down. It's to do with the power that the engine runs, right? So 30 is related to it being 109 to 128 horsepower, and 70 being the largest is over 536 horsepower. Now they obviously still do the S and the RS models. This just applies, I think, to the run-of-the-mill A models, A6, A4, A5, and so on. Yeah. So this A6 being a 40 falls in a bracket of 167 to 201 horsepower, and that's why it's got a 40 on the back. But us as petrol heads, we see 40, we think 4 litre. Like my dad said to me the other day, he said, "Cal, I saw a 50 Audi on the road the other day." 50. I was like, "Dad, you know what? That don't mean it's 5 litre, you know." You know, he's like, he's confused, he's disappointed. That Cal, it's 5 litre. I'm like, no. A 50 is in relation to it being in the region of 281 to 308 horsepower. Okay, pretty good. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of power, but it ain't like, it ain't 5 litre power. So that answers that for you. The cockpit in here is, like I say, really nice. Adjustable steering column, manually. So it's pretty basic spec, but obviously S-lines do come pretty well spec from factory. This has got a couple of nice options. I think we should go through that right now. Pick the phone back up. So here we go. Here's the HPI EF19 KZV. So these cars came out in 2018, I think later on in time. So the majority of them are like 68, 19. So this is one of the earlier cars, and it is under Audi warranty, just about. We'll talk about the warranty situation shortly. So all registers are clear. It's done, where's the mileage? It's done 72,397 miles, which is pretty good. Back to the HPI, Audi A6 S-Line, 40 TDI with a 7-speed auto diesel gearbox, 0 form of keepers, which is great. Obviously the new, the first keeper bought it in April 2019, which is when the car was first registered. 2 litre diesel in grey. I like the colour, by the way. Love grey cars. I think it's very sort of sleek, class. I just like the colour grey. All right. So HPI spec check. It's not showing the stars anymore. Don't know why HPI ain't showing the stars anymore, but £41,110 new. Optional equipment was 2,180 quid, which ain't a lot of money, but it has got quite a couple of quite cool options. Technology pack. Now, obviously, you'd be curious to know what technology pack is, especially if you just spend 1,495 quid on it. Now, if we go over to this website here, what does the Audi Tech Pack include, and is it worth it? The MMI Navigation Plus with MMI Touch, so that's this whole system here. Virtual cockpit, which is a massive thing, like really cool option that is. Very nice. I talk highly of that in every car that I drive that has the Audi virtual cockpit. You've got the option to change the views as well. Really good. Love that. Really love that. Audi Connect infotainment services. Audi phone box with wireless charging. There's a wireless charger in the center armrest, and then it explains what's not included. So that's a pretty good set of options there for 1,495 quid. If we go back to the HPI, Daytona Grey Pearl Effect, that was actually an optional extra, 685 quid, and that is pretty much it. We've got brushed aluminium for £0 as well on the interior, which is really cool. I quite like that. So market values, if we look at that, based on the fact that it's got 39,000 miles, which it doesn't have, that's pointless. It'd retail at £27,000 apparently, but that's not really good. Let's see what Cap's saying. According to Cap, if it had 60,000 miles, it would retail at £24,250. So that gives you an idea what these cars are worth. I think they're a cool car for not a crazy amount of money. Like, it looks proper modern, doesn't it? So MOT details, MOT till the 4th of May 2023. All right, so that wraps that section of the video up. I think what we need to do is hit the road, and I still need to talk to you about the issue that I had with this car when I bought it. Let's hit the road. Honestly, this is a lovely car to drive. It is so comfortable. The power delivery is actually really good, considering the size of the bloody car and the smallness of the engine. Like, it ain't a very big engine, let's face it. It does drive really nice. And I quite like the fact that, you know, I love a flat bottom steering wheel. I talked about this in the SQ7 video, which, by the way, was a bloody brilliant car. It does 30 miles per gallon, and it's a V8, yeah? Let's quickly just check the miles per gallon to this, on this one quickly. 40 miles per gallon. So this is very good on fuel. I would personally rather drive an SQ7 at 30 miles per gallon. I think it's worth every penny. But anyway, steering wheel. This steering wheel is round, yeah? I love a flat bottom steering wheel. I think they look visually beautiful, but when you want to drive with your knees, I can't demonstrate right now, because, not that I drive with my knees all the time, but, you know, in the event that you'd like to drive with your knees, you can't really do that with a flat bottom steering wheel, but you can with a round steering wheel. I can't show you because it's supposedly illegal, but sometimes, like, when you're off-road, and you want to eat double cheeseburger, whatever, at the same time as driving, you can do that with a round steering wheel. So I like the steering wheel anyway, basically. The infotainment system, let me just quickly mention that. By the way, it has different drive select modes, so you've got a drive select button here. A bit like any sporty Audi, like, it's crazy that really this has got that. That comes up on the dash, which is, I say on the dash, on the MMI, which is also touchscreen, so you can select dynamic mode. And when you press it, it's like, it's got like a little click to it. It's got like a bit of feedback through the screen, which is really good. But the screen isn't like an iPhone screen. It's not like super sleek and super responsive. It's very good, but it ain't perfect, right? So I've got it in dynamic mode. It's got a bit of throttle response. It's pulling really nice. Look at that. It's even got paddles on the back of the steering wheel. So if you want to manually shift, you can. You click the gear shifter over to the left there, and then you've got manual shifting available. Not that you would, I don't know, would you use manual? I don't know. Let's quickly talk about the negative that I feel with the MMI system has. This is pulling all right, man. This ain't bad at all. I just feel like Audi have kind of gone, I don't want to say backwards, that's a bit harsh, yeah? Interior quality is wonderful in here. I do want to compliment in that, like, compared to Mercedes again. Mercedes get it visually bang on, like, better than any other manufacturer, I think, on the car market. But the finish quality, I feel with Mercedes, just something about it just doesn't feel super high quality. All right, I'm just putting that out there. Audi, maybe it's not super high quality in here, but it feels good, it looks good, and they do a very good job. But the negative with Audi on the newer cars, which I've learned today, is they used to have like a little control dongle thing here, yeah? So you put your arm, your elbow on the armrest, conveniently you got your armrest perfectly situated there, and then your hand goes down. Where does it go? Yeah, it goes to the gear stick. Yeah, that's where your left arm is generally sitting, or if you're a left-hand driver, it's your right arm, but forget about that. Your spare hand is generally hovering around in this area. It it's not in that area, yeah? It's not in the area of the MMI. So if you want to change the radio or whatever, you have to lean forward and start messing around with the touchscreen. Now, touchscreens are cool, yeah? Really, really cool. But it's taking your attention completely off the road. You're now looking, because you can't do it by touch, because with buttons, you can feel buttons, yeah? You don't need to look at buttons to know what buttons you're pressing. And in fact, when you're driving your Audi or your BMW with your control module thing here, or toggle, whatever you want to call it, you actually get to know exactly where every single button is, so you don't even need to look no more. So when I'm driving down the road, say in my M6, which I don't have anymore, but I'm just using that as an example, I know where the radio button is, I know where the sat-nav button is, I know where the phone button, I know where everything is. If I want to flick through radio stations, I do all of that without looking. Now, in this new Audi, I can't do any of that without looking. So if I want to quickly put the aircon on, I think it's best for me to just pull over to put the aircon on, because I need to really look at where I'm touching. And then, like I said earlier as well, the screen isn't amazing. It's really, really good. I'm not criticising it, but it ain't no iPhone screen, so you've got to put a bit of energy, a bit of thought goes into selecting your heating controls and selecting what radio station you want and all that sort of stuff. Now, you can actually control the radio on the steering wheel here, so you can flick through your radio stations on the steering wheel, which is really good. In my Audi R8, that is the, I say my Audi R8 like I've got it still. I ain't got it no more because I sell everything. But when I had that car there doesn't have a central screen. It only has the one in front of the driver. So in theory, that kind of makes up for it. But that is something that would bug me a little bit if I was to daily drive one of these cars. Now, my missus has got a Range Rover Sport 18 plate, lovely car. They've done it with Range Rover as well. They've got this wonderful touchscreen, looks visually pleasing, but it's a bit awkward to use. So I say awkward to use, that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's just not as convenient as having your hand on a little controller down here, all right? An analog button just seems to work better, okay? Should we do draggy times? I ain't even told you what the problem is I had with this car yet, have I? Let's just do draggy times first, I'll tell you that shortly, yeah? Right, no idea what's going on with my draggy box. It couldn't happen on a better car, to be honest, because I don't really care how quickly this does 20 to 70 mile an hour, but I will do it regardless. But it's saying alert, connection failure. Do you want to try again? But technology being technology, every time I click try again, yes, I would like to try again, please, Mr. Draggy. Yes, yes. Oh, guess what? It still have a problem. Maybe we should just try it anyway. It might work. Hon. Come on, boost. There it is. Wakey, wakey. There she goes. We're doing it. We're just doing it. You never know. It might work. It might pick something up. There we go. Did it work? It's actually worked. It has actually worked, guys. Well, I was definitely expecting a lot better than that. It just done one run in 8.89 seconds. I ain't gonna waste too much of your time. I'll do a couple more runs off camera and I'll come back to you in a sec and let you know where it falls on the leaderboard, all right? So the draggy box seems to do its job all right, considering it had that warning on the screen. There it is, look. Had some great use out of that draggy box. Yeah, I've done a second run, didn't do 3 today. I wasn't really, just didn't feel too excited about doing a third run. Second one was 8.89. First one, of course, was 8.11. That puts it quicker than the Golf, the Planet Dreams Golf GT TDI, that car. That was 150 brake horsepower, 2 litre diesel. So it's quite impressive really that it beat that. It beat the Audi A6 as well, the Planet Dreams one. That's a 2.7 litre V6 with 190 horsepower. That was before we tuned it. It's also quicker than a Jumbo Jet from 2070 mile an hour. So that's the claim to fame, I think, for the Audi A6. Now let's quickly talk about the problem that I had when I bought this car very quickly. So basically I bought this car from our shop in Dunstables. I didn't deal with him personally. So we have multiple car buying shops for those that are new, and we buy cars off the public. It's great business, works really well, and we get to meet the people, drive the cars and so on before we buy them. Now this fella come to one of our shops and dealt with one of my guys at my shop in Dunstable, and they bought a car. Said it's a nice car, it's all good, yeah, brilliant. And it's actually just recently had some gearbox work at Audi, which is good, yeah, that's brilliant. So we bought it, got it recovered from there to Binker, and then I drove it home that night 6 weeks ago, parked it on my driveway, went to pull away the next morning, and I couldn't get the car off my driveway. I basically just tried putting it in reverse, and the engine was revving up, but it was engaging reverse, but it wasn't going anywhere. And like, I can't really moan too much about the customer, like it's not his fault, maybe it's Audi's fault, I don't know whose fault it is, forget whose fault it was, it doesn't matter. It was a massive inconvenience. So I rang the AA, a fella come out, and he was actually one of my subscribers as well. He's like, Calvin, I watch your bloody videos, but I can't help you, this is beyond me, I can't get this car off this driveway, you need to get someone else with a big truck to drag it off your driveway. I was like, really? So we got someone else to come out from the AA, one of their companies that they use on the side, with a big lorry, and he literally had to drag the car off of my driveway. He put some like skates underneath it, dragged it off my driveway. It took him close to a couple of hours to do that. It was a wonderful Saturday evening, and that was how I spent it. We took it to Milton Keynes Audi, and they said this has already been to Bedford Audi, so it needs to go back there because they know more about what's been done to this car than we do. So we then got it shipped to Bedford Audi, and credit to both Bedford Audi and Mercedes and Milton Keynes Audi. They were both really helpful, and it needed a mechatronics unit. Okay, it was done under warranty. This car luckily has an extended warranty, and it's now driving spot on. And I took it home last night, and it's a brilliant car. I really like it. So if you are buying one and you have the option to add an optional manufacturer warranty to it, yeah, an extended one, I would recommend that, because this car was just about out of warranty, but you can pay like 50 quid a month and get yourself an extended warranty. That had been done on this car. It just means that whoever buys it needs to keep up with them payments in order to sustain that warranty. What I think is well worthwhile. It took a bit of time to fix it, which, to be fair to Audi, the whole world is mega busy at the minute, so I am definitely not complaining about that. I've got the car back now, we've had it serviced as well, and it's a lovely car, so it can finally go up for sale, and hopefully we'll get it sold at some point soon. All right, so I reckon by the time this video goes live, it will be sold. If it is, I'll put it on the screen now. And if it isn't, it's available at binker.co.uk or binkerretail.co.uk, because this is a retail car. All of my links are on my website, calvinslinks.com, so any companies that I ever mention are on that website. All of my social media links are on there as well. I'll put a link for that in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, do me a favour, hit like, and please hit that subscribe button for lots of wonderful car reviews, car buying, car stuff, and Calvin. Alright, see you later. Can I just recommend something before you go? This video here, go and check it out. Honestly, you won't regret it.